Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be talking about the huge news that has been slowly leaking out regarding the 7 Deadly Sins. A brand new 7 Deadly Sins movie will be coming out this summer, the summer of 2021. And it will feature a new story written by the original mangaka, Nakaba Suzuki. Judging by the title of this upcoming movie, this new story could be that long-awaited Supreme Deity arc, which was, of course, the one major missing piece from the original 7 Deadly Sins manga. On top of the big movie news, in this video I will also cover the latest developments in the direct sequel to the 7 Deadly Sins story called 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, which is currently coming out weekly, so stay tuned and let's get into it. If you enjoy our 7 Deadly Sins videos and you want to see more videos about the 7 Deadly Sins and the sequel in the future, please do me a favor and leave a like and comment. It only takes a second and you might think that it doesn't matter, but it actually matters a lot for the YouTube algorithm. And if you don't want to miss future videos on the 7 Deadly Sins and the sequel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. Alright, so our knowledge about this new 7 Deadly Sins movie is still limited. The news is quite fresh. But we do know that this is indeed new content that wasn't covered in the original manga. And we also know that the title of the movie is Cursed by Light. Because we don't have a lot of specifics, I will have to speculate here, but that title, Cursed by Light, heavily implies that this movie might be dealing with the Supreme Deity. As you will recall, the single biggest unsolved mystery in the original 7 Deadly Sins manga was the Supreme Deity. She was the other major villain of the story along with the Demon King, but while the Demon King got ample screen time in multiple arcs, the Supreme Deity didn't get any time to shine, no pun intended. We only know the Supreme Deity through a flashback which showed how Meliodas and Elizabeth were defeated and cursed by her and the Demon King 3,000 years ago. While reading the original manga, I was convinced that after the Demon King arc, we would get a Supreme Deity arc as well. After all, the Supreme Deity and the Demon King were supposed to be equally powerful, and they were equally responsible for the destruction of Belialuin, for all those bloody holy wars, and of course for cursing Meliodas and Elizabeth. I was certain that the holy wars could never truly end until both the Demon King and the Supreme Deity were defeated. Taking out only one of them is not enough because that would just embolden the other one to keep doing what they were doing the whole time, except this time they don't have an opposing force. But to my great surprise and to the surprise of many other fans, in the original manga we never got a Supreme Deity arc, and we never got to see the Celestial Realm at all. The big Demon King arc was followed by the King of Chaos arc, and then the series simply ended. The fact that we never got a Supreme Deity arc made the whole story feel unfinished, at least in my personal opinion, and I know that many others felt that way as well. But now we get this news about a movie that will feature a new story, something not yet featured in the manga, and what do you know? The title of the movie is Cursed by Light. Light and the power of light is closely associated with the goddess clan, and the Supreme Deity is of course the ruler of the goddess clan. On top of that, the Supreme Deity is known for cursing people, and she was the one who cursed Meliodas with immortality in the first place. So to me, it only makes sense that the title Cursed by Light is a reference to the Supreme Deity and to the Celestial Realm. I really hope that this new movie is going to give us that long-awaited Supreme Deity arc, and I hope that we will finally get the answers to all of those big unsolved mysteries about the Supreme Deity. And before you say that this movie won't be canon, so what happens won't have an impact on the original story, I have to once again mention that the first 7 Deadly Sins movie, called Prisoners of the Sky, included multiple references to people and places that ended up being canon in the original story. This includes the Sky Temple and the Celestials, the Mother of Chaos, and more. So it is possible that this new movie will actually add to the established canon of the story, meaning that we absolutely should be paying attention to the movie and the new information that the movie will reveal. My personal prediction is that this movie will be canon and that it will take place sometime after the fight with Cath Paluk. And of course, I think that the focus will be on the Supreme Deity and the Celestial Realm. This is all speculation at this point. For all I know, it could end up being a prequel series that takes place during the time of the original Holy War. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Is this new movie finally going to give us that elusive Supreme Deity arc? Is it going to be canon in terms of the original story, or will it just be filler? And when do you think that the events of the story will take place in terms of the original 7 Deadly Sins timeline? Is it going to take place between some of the older arcs? Is it going to be a prequel? Is it going to take place during the 10-year time skip at the end of the manga? Or will it be sometime closer to the timeline of the 4 Nights of the Apocalypse sequel? Definitely share your thoughts on this crazy movie news down in the comments below. Now, let's talk about the latest developments in the 7 Deadly Sins sequel series, The 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, which has 3 published chapters as of the making of this video. And of course, it is being published weekly by Kodansha. I already made an entire video on the first chapter of this manga, a chapter which was over 60 pages long, so definitely check that out if you haven't already. The link will be in the description and also in the pinned comment. So far, I am really enjoying the story, and the latest chapters gave me strong Meliodas vibes from the new main character, Percival. And on top of that, we also got a clue that characters from the original series may be showing up soon in the sequel, especially Merlin and Arthur. Chapters 2 and 3 feature Percival's descent from God's finger into the land of Britannia and the various characters and challenges that he encounters along the way. It takes him over a day to climb all the way down, and after a pretty rough landing, Percival comes face to face with the fox creature that was featured on the front cover of the first chapter. This fox is clearly going to become important to the story, and I'm guessing it will probably become Percival's companion. Percival is amused when he comes across this creature because there were no foxes on top of God's finger, and the fox eventually leads Percival to some fellow human beings. These humans are 3 magical street performers who are practicing for their next show. The troupe includes Katz, the leader of the troupe, Elba, a teenage girl, and Donnie, a teenage boy who kinda looks and acts like a delinquent. Percival is impressed with the troupe's magic tricks, so he comes out of hiding and greets them. But when Donnie realizes that Percival is pretty much clueless about the world beyond God's finger, he tries to steal all of Percival's stuff by making Percival levitate and then taking off with his bag. The other 2 members of the troupe don't really want to leave Percival out there alone. To them, he looks like a little kid, and they're concerned that him being out there on his own could lead to trouble. However, to everyone's great surprise, once the levitation magic wears off, Percival takes off in a sprint and easily catches up to the horse and carriage. Realizing that Percival probably shouldn't be messed with, Donnie returns his stuff. That's when Percival reveals that he is looking for his father, Ironside, and that he needs help finding him. The troupe has no idea who Ironside is, but they do agree to take Percival to a nearby village in the hope that someone there might know about Ironside. On the way to the village, the members of the troupe reveal that at some point in the past, they all wanted to become holy knights, but they failed. They don't really possess any strong magic. The only thing that their magic is good for is performing cheap tricks, so they became street performers. Once Percival and the troupe reach the village, they are shocked to see that a giant wolf is rampaging around the village. This wolf has some sort of demonesque mark on its tail, just like that blue demon from God's finger. And I have to say that the art style of this wolf really reminded me of Cath Palug from the King of Chaos arc in the original manga. Now, obviously this wolf is nowhere near as powerful as Cath Palug, and Percival actually beats him easily by bitch slapping him right in the face. Once the wolf is defeated, the demonesque mark disappears from its tail, and Percival is celebrated as a hero. It's worth mentioning that when it looked like Percival was in trouble at the very beginning of this short fight, Donnie actually stepped in to help Percival at the expense of getting injured. So it seems that Donnie is a good guy after all. He was just extremely jaded and resentful after failing to get into the Holy Knights. Meanwhile, that fox from earlier watched as the entire fight against the wolf unfolded. And through some sort of magic crystal, there was someone else watching as well. Inside a castle somewhere, a fully armored knight is impressed that Percival was able to defeat his familiar, and it's clear that this knight is plotting something. But here's the crazy thing. In that last panel of the second chapter, right behind the knight, we see a mural on the window that depicts the battle against Cath Palug from the original Seven Deadly Sins manga. We can see Arthur using Excalibur to fight Cath, we see Merlin right next to him, and we see other people there too. Presumably these guys are supposed to symbolize the other heroes who were there during that fight, although to be honest, these depictions don't exactly look like the real characters we know. One of them does have wings though, so perhaps that one is supposed to be Elizabeth, and another one has a mustache, but I don't think it's supposed to be Escanor since he wasn't around for that fight. Either way, this mural is a very cool Easter egg, and it is an indication that the characters we love from the original story will appear in this sequel at some point in the future. Since this story is presumably taking place in Camelot, Merlin and Arthur will likely be the first characters that we get to see again, but we'll have to wait and see. Chapter 3 begins with the aftermath of Percival's triumph over the giant wolf, which saved the village from destruction. The villagers are wondering how this wolf became so big, and apparently similar strange monsters have been appearing in other villages too. Clearly these holy knights, or former holy knights like Ironside and the knight from the last chapter, are playing with some sort of dark magic, perhaps even demon magic. And they must be using this magic to create these familiars. Why they are doing it and why they want to terrorize random villages is still a mystery to me, but I'm sure we will find out more soon. Right after that, we witness a scene that is quite something. Elba, the female troupe member, is bathing with Percival in the river, and she is completely naked. So here's the thing. She seems to think that Percival is just a little kid, so she has no problem being naked around him and helping him to clean himself. After all, this kid isn't even in puberty yet, so what's the big deal? Or at least that's what Elba thinks. Except as we know, Percival is already 16 years old, he just looks really young, and as it turns out, Elba and Donnie are also 16. But as of this point in the story, Elba has no idea that Percival is actually her own age, so she keeps bathing with him as he squeezes her chest and admires the rest of her naked body. Now, in Percival's defense, he had never even seen a woman before in his entire life, so he has no idea how to properly behave in a situation such as this. And of course, Elba was totally cool with bathing with him because she thought that he was just a little kid. In fact, it was probably her idea since she thought that she was helping out this dirty little kid. All in all though, this scene was hilarious and it definitely gave me some major Meliodas vibes. When Percival and Elba get back into town, everyone wants to celebrate and toast Percival for his brave actions against the wolf. And it is during this celebration that we learn that Elba, Donnie, and Percival are all the same age. As soon as she hears this, Elba spits out her drink and her face is flushed with color as she realizes that she was just bathing naked with a boy her own age. And I have to say that this was a hilarious moment, and as I said earlier, I was getting heavy Meliodas vibes throughout this chapter. Percival then tries asking the villagers about the knight in the red armor, his father Ironside, but no one seems to know anything about him. However, another knight suddenly shows up to crash the party. This is a knight who wears black armor, and it is the same knight from the end of chapter 2. The black knight's name is Pelgart, and he calls himself a fellow of Balgus and Ironside. So presumably a fellow holy knight, although he could be a former holy knight who actually betrayed King Arthur just like Ironside had done. It is clear right off the bat that the Black Knight is far stronger than the average human, and no one in the village except for Percival stands a chance against him. So Percival decides to challenge him to a fight, saying that if he wins, then the Black Knight must tell Percival where his father is. The Black Knight agrees, but he also says that if he wins, then Percival has to agree to come along with him. The Black Knight is surprised by Percival's strength and his ability to actually put up a fight using nothing but his bare hands, so Pelgart wants to raise Percival as his own disciple. Unfortunately for Percival, without a weapon and without any magic, he simply can't take the Black Knight down. It really doesn't look good for Percival as the Black Knight seems to be dominating the fight. But then that fox that has been watching the entire thing unfold appears to do something or say something, and then suddenly Percival's fists are enveloped by some sort of magical energy. This unknown power forces the Black Knight back, and even he doesn't know what kind of magic this is, and that is how this chapter, the third chapter, ends. Man, I am definitely enjoying this story so far. This is a strong beginning for a brand new manga adventure, and I'm very curious to learn more about Percival's powers and the true intentions of Ironside. And on top of all the action and mystery, we already have some great humor elements like the Elba scene, which reminds me a lot of the original Seven Deadly Sins. I gotta admit, I do hope that we're gonna see the return of at least some of the characters from the original manga sometime soon, including of course Tristan and Lancelot, since I'm sure they're going to be main characters in this story along with Percival. But let me know what you guys think. What kind of magic does Percival have? Is this a latent power of his own, or is it related to that mysterious fox? Also, what's the deal with Ironside and Pelgard? They don't seem like good guys, so are they both traitors who are using forbidden magic, like maybe demon magic or a fragment of chaos magic? Like, did they maybe steal a fragment of chaos from King Arthur? And if so, what is their ultimate goal? Why are they using familiars to terrorize these innocent villagers? Finally, assuming that all of this is taking place in Camelot, what do you think that Arthur and Merlin are up to? Why don't they do something to stop these sketchy knights like Ironside and Pelgard? Are they maybe busy dealing with an even bigger threat? Don't forget to share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more 7 Deadly Sins and sequel videos, please leave that like and subscribe. It really means a lot. Remember that once you subscribe, you also have to go through the trouble of hitting that bell and then selecting the option that says all. I know it's annoying, it's an extra step, but if you don't do that, you're still gonna miss a ton of our videos, even if you are subscribed. It's just how YouTube works. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar. A big thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons for making videos like this one possible. Special thank you to Alpha Sigma, disciple of Lord Twigo himself. And I can't forget all of our The One tier patrons, the ones who rise above all other clans, including Ingrata, The World, A Quiet Respect, Pate Heffa, Liam Thompson, Aljatal, Dr. Courtman, Johnny Boy Draws, Emperor Otaku, Spidey Life Tanel, Baked Buddhist, and Tungsten Tarkus. Finally, thank you to all of our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Steelers, Angel Cruz, Anatoly Kazatsky, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Jessica K. LaFond, Rathuin Deora, Alicia Octor, Bonnie Parks, Hinokami and Water, The Red-Haired Raven, Joanne Garcia, Jack Watches Anime, Fatboy Games, Deadly Saint, Matthew Cruz, and Anthony Schreiber. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value to you, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these legendary people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!